What's up, guys? Jordan here. Today, got a special episode for you, joined by Chad, who's a member of Agency Launch, who's just had his first 10K month, which is amazing. Want to unpack that all today and what Chad's been doing to grow his agency over the past few months. So Chad, welcome, man. It's good to have you here.
Thank you very much, Jordan. Pleasure to be here.
Can you give the guys some context on just some of the pre-agency piece? What brought you up to the point of starting an agency in the first place?
Yeah, sure. So I'd always worked in marketing, got a degree in it, and worked for large agencies in London, but was always working with really boring brands that I had no passion for, and just had no real desire to work for somebody else. Had come across your content and it really resonated with me. I think to a similar degree and background to yourself, always worked in either marketing or sales, but always had that drive and knew that I worked really hard for somebody else. And that would only mean I'd work 10 times as hard for myself. So really went out to build something on the side in an industry that I had a real passion for, which was fitness, rather than the industries I was serving in my 9 to 5, which were like tobacco, insurance, and some really corporate industries that I had no real desire to help build. So built my agency on the side, went full time about 4 months ago, not looked back since.
Nice, man. Love that. Do you think your marketing degree has helped in your ability to deliver results for your clients? Like, have you carried forward that skill set?
No, not at all. I don't think a degree really helps much in that sense. I think actually being in the field has helped a lot. I think one thing that you've always sort of taught and that resonated with me was just the pure kind of grind and the resilience you build through just doing the work and the actual implementation of your sales strategy. So I did work in recruitment for around 2 years. And I think that built up a natural resilience to just get on the phone and speak to people. So I think a lot of the harsh truths that you give to your audience really resonated with me. And it was something that I thought, this it wouldn't be as much of a problem with my background. Naturally, it doesn't come natural for many people, but you just got to go out there and do it. But definitely the education side of things hadn't helped much. But I would say, my more corporate experience gave me that foot up and the resilience I needed to go out and start building my own brand.
Yeah, it's interesting. So many people who get into the space are jumping into the agency space, like almost as their first ever, like they never have had a job. And it sounds so strange saying it, but as people that have had jobs, like it's just completely normal to you. You know what it is like to work in a job and to have a boss and so on. But you have a lot of discipline instilled upon you from working a 9 to 5 and having to have specific responsibilities and so on. And I think a lot of people are learning that for the first time when they start an agency, which is a very difficult path because like it's way harder to self-motivate from zero than it is to remember what it's like to be in a place of like strong discipline. How was that transition? Like, how long did it take you to quit the job and jump into the agency full time?
Yeah. So, I mean, I think like many, I was self-educating through, content, a lot of your content, to be honest, and just taking everything down, rehearsing it and putting it into practice. I'm very much an action taker. So I didn't want to do too much research before I actually started doing things on my own. But it was very difficult managing a corporate 9 to 5 job, coming home and then smashing out an hour, 2 hours of cold calls myself. But it's something that I always wanted to do. And to be honest, I know people say that you can build your own business on the side. But the reality is, I think if you really want to give it a good shot and make it work, you have to go all in. And I realized I was getting to that point where I was getting some really good traction. I was, having lots of sales calls. But the reality is I just didn't have the time around my 9 to 5 to really keep the consistency because either I'd be making cold calls and booking in the meetings, or I'd be taking the meetings and then missing out on the cold calls. So there wouldn't be as much consistency there. And back end of last year, I decided to quit my job after around 18 months of starting my agency. And then I did a little bit of traveling. I'm here now in Australia, and I've gone all in, like I mentioned, about 4 or 5 months ago. So it's been a gradual process, a lot of education, a lot of testing on my side as well. I think people are very, naive to the fact that the strategies that are taught to them don't just work for everyone. They need to fit, their specific niche, their agency, the way they communicate, the way they work themselves. So it was a long learning process, but I started to see what was winning from my side. And that gave me the confidence to go all in the agency and know that I'm not going to look back, and, it's going to be hard times ahead, but I had unrelenting belief that I'd make it work, and I still do to this day.
Nice, man. I think we always see that it's like it takes, the best part of a year, sometimes more, to gain that initial traction, like where it's kind of like you feel like you're not making a huge amount of progress, but you're just learning from mistakes and just finding your groove. Like, what do you think is, and then you find it, then you get this steep up trend. So you hit like 10, maybe 20K, and then the momentum really kicks in and things go crazy. And to other people on the outside, they're like, oh, they just got lucky because they see that really quick growth, but they didn't see that huge part. They see this part, but they didn't see all of this part here that it took to get to that point. And it feels very much like you're at this position now where you're somewhere, but like starting off in this, and hopefully we're going to see that really steep that curve. Do you feel like that in yourself? Did you feel like there were things that are holding you back during those early stages that you had to get a grip of? And if so, what were those pivotal things? Was it service delivery? Was it nailing sales? Was it a combination of everything? Like, what is it that you found the hardest during those initial stages?
Yeah, I think naturally I went for, a niche that I have a true passion for, and I actually understand the problems of the potential clients that I wanted to work with. So the sales side of things, I was never that worried about. Naturally, I feel like I'm good with sales. It was really understanding, like every business owner, right? You find a market and you find the main challenges within that. And then it's understanding, right, okay, what is the product that has the market fit that's in demand right now? So, naturally you start looking at, Google services or potentially, other physical products, and then you land into ads. And although I have a background in marketing, I had always worked on big, web design projects and never really, in the meta space, or in Facebook specifically. So just getting my head around service delivery, what building a team looks like, what an SOP is, how to manage teams, how to hire, how to communicate, all of these things are such new concepts, but the upward learning curve is so steep. And actually it's quite exciting because when you start to learn things, you get this natural, creative buzz, and then you actually implement it into your own agency and start to see things winning. But definitely as an agency owner, I think one of the hardest things is finding the right people, communicating with them in the right way, and building a system that works for all of you. Because as an agency, you're not just a freelancer. It's not just your work. You have to have a system there that works across the board. And then, it needs to get results as well. So getting results is definitely a challenge for clients. But again, it's how much effort you put into the education on your side to make sure that you're up to date with latest industry standard practices, and you're getting a return for the clients. And if you're not, then you need to really put the work in to understand why that is and make proactive changes to get them results. And we have done that. There's been a lot of testing and iteration, and now we're at a point where we're getting great results for our clients, and we're leveraging those results as case studies for new clients into the business.
Nice, man. Love that. So you're now at a point where you're starting to get a team into the company as well. What does that process look like? Like, how many people are you at the moment, and where's that heading over the next couple of months?
Yeah, I think one of the biggest over observations on my side was coming into building my own agency. I thought, great, I could run the sales, I get the clients in, and I can just throw the client over the fence to a service person. I know you talk about this a lot. And it's crazy to me that people do it the other way around, right? They get a service and they think they can delegate the sales side. But the reality is it's a holistic approach. And if you don't know what you're selling, if you don't know what your product is and how it works, fundamentally, not only are you not going to know how to sell it on the front end, you're never going to know how to actually deliver the service once you get the clients through the door. So that's been a huge learning curve my side, is that I can't just rely on team, because a lot of the time, the first hire that I brought into the business was a media buyer, you know, a Facebook ad specialist to run the ads themselves. And on day one, sitting together, you know, we're ready to go. And they say, you know, okay, so what are we doing? I'm saying, no, you tell me. And they're like, no, what are we? And it was like this moment of realization that, yeah, I'm leading this ship, right? I'm the captain here. I need to know what my internal practices are. I need to know what we're delivering. I need to know the holistic approach to the strategy. And from my side, I'm always being good with the strategy, and that's something I pride myself on. But the actual implementation is what I needed to understand as well. So in terms of hiring, I thought I could just, you know, nitpick and get these guys in, and they kind of teach me how to build the agency out. But it was a real realization that, no, I need to know what I'm hiring for. You know, you hire based on pain, not just, laziness. What I'm hiring for, what I need them to deliver, the results I expect. And also, you know, I need to understand from my agency perspective, the quality of the product that we're delivering as well. So to this day, we've got quite a lean team, which I want to keep it that way. We've got a media buyer, we've got a videographer and editor, and we've got a web designer, and that's us. And to be honest, I would want to keep it as lean as possible, but I'm getting to a point now where a lot of my time is being split between service delivery and driving client acquisition. So I'm looking at potentially, I'm bringing in a virtual assistant just to help with admin-based tasks as well.
Love that. I remember some early stage conversations with you, and like in your desire to deliver the best results possible for the clients, you were doing a huge amount for your clients. So a huge variety of a very holistic marketing strategy. Is that still the case with the clients? And how have you, and what is your general mindset now around, you know, the balance between doing everything that you possibly could do for a client and doing as much as you can for one specific subsector of the business? And what is the dance there? Because we haven't really had the chance to catch up since that conversation, I believe, on that topic at least.
It's still a full tango. It's still a full tango our side. So we do everything. We are a complete done for you system end to end. And that's something I've always wanted to do, because especially with fitness businesses, I hope they won't mind me saying, but a lot of them are one-man bands that have just kind of started to build out, either a freelance business, if they're a personal trainer or an online fitness coach, or if they're a studio, they're still very small in the team that they have. And the team they have are fundamentally coaches themselves that get dragged into the marketing or the sales side of things. And for us, we're heavily invested in the return on investment that we get for our clients. So if we rely on them to do any part of the process, other than, closing the sale their side, because I still believe that they are best placed in their business to close the door with clients that we bring them in or leads that we bring them in. If we rely on them to reach out or manage any part of the marketing process, I'm not confident that we'll be able to deliver the return on investment that I would want for each and every client that comes into the agency. So for now, we're still holistic marketing solution. Our system is end to end, and innovation in AI is only making that easier from our side as well. And we have implemented things like chatbots to get to leads quicker, to booking consultations, and potentially investigating, voice chatbots as well, voice AI agents to really deliver the best solution possible. And that's what it is at the end of the day. It's not about service stacking. It's not about making our product any more expensive. It's about getting results for the clients. And if we can manage the end-to-end process on our side, that gives us more control, and that gives us more ability to deliver on the promises that we guarantee for our clients.
100%. 100%. It's about going deep, not wide. That's what it's about. Like getting as deep as possible with one specific subsector, and that makes a huge amount of sense, especially in an industry like, I know it's fitness in general, but online PTing, where people just want to focus on their crafts. They don't want to be focused on marketing, and yes, they want to make money and they want to get clients in, but they don't want to be building funnels and running ads and so on. They want to be a puppeteer. Well, you want to be the puppeteer, and they want to be the puppet on that side. They want to be told what to do, and then in return, that makes a lot of cash. So it makes perfect sense in that space. What are you working towards in the agency? What is like the long-term goals? Are you obviously you've moved from the UK, you're now in Australia, so you're doing the traveling thing. Do you want to build a virtual agency that's high profit, lean, that facilitates lifestyle? Do you want to go down the route of building an office and building an enterprise, potentially exiting? Like what is your goal? What are you looking at in the short term, I suppose, and then also in the long term?
Yeah, so my goals for the business were always lifestyle based. So I always wanted a business that served my lifestyle. And that was over the short term. So for now, I'm living in Australia. I spent 3 months in Bali. Being a digital nomad was always an ambition of mine. I'm doing a couple of weeks in Dubai, and then I'm back home for Christmas. So having a virtual agency that allows me the freedom and flexibility to do that is fundamentally what I got in this for. It has its limitations, of course, because the reality of being living a nomadic life, but servicing, we've got over 10 clients in the agency that we're serving right now, is that I need to put in the time and effort until I'm happy with being able to completely delegate and remove myself from the business itself. So it's kind of a weird balance right now, and it's something that I'm managing my side, but it's the perfect problem to have. And if I was looking at this problem 6 months ago, I would have been delighted. So it's very much lifestyle based for now. However, I have always wanted to set out to create the number one marketing agency for online fitness coaches in the world. And that's something that I still have in my mind. I think the online fitness sector is only going to grow furthermore. I think, the numbers it's growing at the moment is crazy. Obviously, since COVID, when all of the gyms shut, it birthed this new sector of the fitness industry, which were these PTs that had no income, had no gyms to work out of, starting posting their knowledge and sessions and different workouts online, and they started to grow brands. And these are the top clients that I want to start working with. And actually, more recently, I've started to work with clients that do have a reputation and quite large communities already. So the idea would be, to really help build their brands and really start to help them monetize as well, because a lot of people in this sector, they have a good following, but they don't really know how to monetize their platforms. I want to be the number one marketing agency for online fitness coaches in the world.
Talk me through like your experience with us. Like how has the process been of working with us and joining us? You already had a couple of clients at the point of joining us, didn't you? Yeah, you did. I remember. And so what was that process like, and what have been some of the most valuable resources you've pulled away from it?
Yeah, so to be honest, I've been consuming your content for a long time, just through your YouTube videos, and it got me to a point where I had actually signed my first couple of clients. And like I mentioned, I was running that as a bit more of a side job, with always the intention of going all in on that. I had always had it in my mind that I wanted some support along this journey. especially coming from, a 9 to 5 job where you're part of a team. Your work actually impacts other people, and you share wins. And coming into an entrepreneur space where it is incredibly isolating, and it is a lonely day-to-day thing. So I always knew that I wanted support there, not necessarily to learn everything from scratch again, but just to know that what I'm doing is on the right track. And if I start to pivot, or if I need guidance, then I've got a mentor there that can really support me through that journey, as well as having a community of people to really share wins and break down problems, and just see if other people are experiencing what I am as well. Naturally, as you would, with your team members, your colleagues in a normal job. But then it was actually when I got to Bali, and I went all in on the business, and I was thinking, I'm looking at people to invest in me, but actually I'm not investing in any mentorship myself. I'm not looking for outside support. And naturally, no one can build a big business, a good, solid business with foundations on their own. So yeah, it was always kind of sitting on the fence. I always knew that if I was to invest in anyone, it would be in yourself, in your program. But kind of, just took decisive action, thought this is the time to do it. And yeah, always knew that any money that I would invest in the program itself would come back around tenfold. So booked in a call with your team, had a good conversation. And it was more so the mentorship that I was looking for, which really sold me in. And joined up with you guys. Obviously, consumed a lot of the content in the program itself. I think the service delivery side of things has really put me on the right track with what I'm doing, especially the AI side of things as well. But fundamentally, having a call with my mentor and just talking about those wins, talking about the struggles, and just aligning that what I'm doing day to day is on the right track. And, I've got a sort of a roadmap to success that I'm proactively driving towards.
Love it, man. I love it. How's things changing now you're at 10K? Because this is the point where this is like the pivotal point where so much changes. I always say that like 0 to 10K is about throwing shit at the wall and seeing what sticks. And then 10 to 100 plus is really about just analyzing what did stick and just focusing on that, just keep throwing in the same spot again and again. So what's that look like now? Are you going to continue cold calling to get clients over the line? Has that been the strategy that's still working the most, or are we going to start looking at running some ads? Like what's the current situation and the game plan to get you to the next level?
Yeah. So now we've hit this point, it's really about team delegation and then switch on the ads. I think it only makes natural sense. I think we've got a proven offer. We've got a proven market. There's obviously demand for our services here, and there's an abundance of clients out there for us to approach. So in terms of getting ads set up right now, I want to have the team in place. I want to have all SOPs and processes locked in so that we know exactly what's happening when the ad pipe turns on. And it's a shame because I absolutely love dialing and I love speaking to people over the phone, but fundamentally ads are really where it's going to boost it's going to save me a lot of time on my side, which I can then focus on the business itself, actually working on the business, and then have a trusted team in the back end that are actually that I can delegate the work to as well. So over the next month or so, it's really about stabilizing the ship, getting all processes in place, making sure the team will know their roles and responsibilities. And I have confidence that they do as well. Not that I don't at the moment, but I just want to, make sure that any new people that we're bringing in also have been trained to a good enough standard that I'm confident that I can step back from service delivery and I can focus on running ads. And to be honest, I mean, we get great results for our clients through ads, and there's no reason why the same wouldn't work for us as well. So the main goal right now is making sure 10K becomes the new benchmark month to month. And then, we start setting our sights towards 30, 50, depending on, what the ambitions of the agency are at that point.
Nice. just as a little side note, what's the LTV like in the business at the moment, like across the clients?
Yeah, so they would join us on a 3-month sort of initial period, and then after that process, well, we sort of work on a retained basis, which is slightly different to the agency model of just working on a retainer. But yeah, it's pretty healthy. At the moment, it's around, I would say, about 8 to 10 months. And to be honest, once they use us, once they understand the processes in place, a lot of them get to a point where they know how the CRM works. They know how to run efficient ads. And to be honest, they outgrow us. They go and they end up doing their own thing, which fundamentally is great to see. I want to see people winning in this space. But then we have another offer, which is more of a consultancy role as well. So instead of actually delivering the service, we're just there as an external consultant for their business growth.
Nice. Yeah, it's always good to be able to facilitate that next stage if the next stage is inevitable. But yeah, if you're running, keeping clients for 8 to 10 months and so on, you're in a perfect
and
to run.
They start to build. Yeah, they start to build out their own teams as well, the bigger they get. So they end up bringing someone in on sales. They bring in a marketing manager, they start to build out their own team because, they all have really big ambitions as well. So it makes sense for them to do so. And yeah, it's happy to get them to that point. It's really good to see the clients win.
Yeah, it's awesome. Cool, man. What would you say to someone that was like in your position like 4 months ago who you're battling through scale, you want to get that 10K point, but maybe you feel like you're at a bit of a brick wall? What would you say to someone who's in that position that's kind of just slogging through month by month?
I would say, like, one thing I learned a lot about entrepreneurship is abundance mindset. And it's something that really comes as this foreign concept, especially people from the UK, I can only speak to, and definitely someone that comes from a corporate background. We love to save our money for this rainy day that never comes. But actually, if you don't invest in yourself, how can you expect anyone else to invest in yourself as well? And you need to have that mindset that anything you invest is going to come back around tenfold. And I would say, listen, it is scary. It's scary for all of us. But the reality is, if you believe in yourself, if you believe in your product and you're confident you're going to make this work, then invest, have a mentor there that's going to keep you on the straight and narrow, won't have you second guessing, will have you knowing that what you're doing, it's not about learning new things. I think a lot of people in this space, they know what to do. They just don't take the action or actually implement what they know. Having someone go, listen, you're doing the right things, just keep persistent at it. Having that mentor there is life-changing for the business. 4 months ago, I was working at a bar whilst running the agency, thinking this isn't it. And now I'm at 10K, and haven't looked back since. And that entire time had been since joining the agency, joining up with you guys in the program. So fundamentally, it's been a huge key in my success. And I would definitely recommend people just to bite that bullet. It's scary, but you won't look back as long as you implement what you're learning and you take full use of the services. You're going to win.
Awesome. Thanks, man. Okay. Do you have any social channels that you want to show that you'd like people to go and check you out on in the description, or do you keep yourself low key? What's the situation?
No,
there's some links in the description.
I'm very much out there. So yeah, Chad_Maxalding is my handle on Instagram. That's pretty much it for now. Yeah, mainly Instagram.
Cool. Okay, sounds good. I'll get a link in the description. Follow on to Chad's journey, and I look forward to catching up with you on another one of these anyway at the next milestone. That'll be cool. Awesome. Thanks so much, guys. Hope you enjoyed this. Chad, appreciate you.
Thanks a lot, Jordan. Lovely to catch up, mate.